everybody, my name is Jazz, and today we're going to be talking about Pluto moving into Aquarius for good until 2044. Now, Pluto had already moved into Aquarius from March of 2023 to June of 2023, as well as January of 2024 to September of 2024. So if you look at the Aquarius part of your chart, you're going to see some themes that came up during that time that may come back up during the next several months as we traverse over the same couple of first degrees of Aquarius. And for the next 20 years, you might have those themes come up in different ways, right? These are patterns, not actual events that are kind of going to come up in the same exact way. Now that Pluto is in Aquarius for good, we are honestly on a brand new journey of transformation and evolution, personally and collectively. So today we're going to go over a few of the themes that I see coming up for Pluto and Aquarius. It's going to feel quite different than Pluto and Capricorn because although Aquarius and Capricorn are both ruled by Saturn, they definitely have a different side of Saturn. And Aquarius has a co-ruler of Uranus that's indicated as well. Now, the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was 1778 to 1798. So it's important to think about what kind of things were going on during that time. There were revolutions within countries, and namely, there was also the Industrial Revolution that happened during that time, which was a very innovative process where society as a whole really used those Aquarian themes to progress. Pluto represents a few things. It's the death rebirth struggle, it's transformation, it's evolution. It also rules our unconscious desires. And so things that we are not aware of that are ruling our psyche. And as we know, our subconscious thoughts are a major player in what we do in our daily lives. And so Pluto excavates those desires from wherever it is going through in your chart and pertaining to what sign it's in order for us to learn about ourselves, learn about our soul's path, and to evolve as humans and personally and collectively. Pluto also shows us where power is going to be concentrated. With Pluto and Capricorn, we saw a lot of power in structures, in government, and the idea that they were the ones who held the power regardless. And we've already started to see the breakdown of this, and Pluto and Aquarius will bring just more energy to the breakdown of that and to the rising of the people, because Aquarius is the community. Aquarius is group consciousness. Aquarius is a progressive sign that deals with themes like rebellion, innovation, technology. So without further ado, let's talk about some of the major themes of Pluto and Aquarius. So the first one I want to talk about is self-empowerment. Now, some of you guys may be thinking, how is that a Pluto and Aquarius thing? Because Aquarius is the 11th house. Like I said, it's the house of communities. It's the house of the humanitarian. It's the house of group consciousness, right? So kind of dissolving the I into we. Yet, I always say we don't have 12 zodiac signs. We have 6 zodiac pairs. And so it's imperative that when we're looking at a transit, especially one that's going to be lasting till 2044, that we think about what is the opposite of this sign and how can we bring in some of the better qualities of that sign. Leo is about self-love, it's about self-expression, it's about self-empowerment. And so much of Pluto going through an Aquarius is going to make us have to find the responsibility for our own well-being so that we can show up for our communities. And not just any community, but the ones that align with us, right? So another thing we're going to be seeing is radical authenticity, because Uranus is the rebel. So when we are uncovering our self-empowerment, what comes with that is learning who we are, what we stand for, and taking back our projections, taking back our own sense of, I have to take care of myself first so that I can show up as the best person for my community. And I want everybody else to do that as well. It's interesting because Pluto was in Leo, the opposite sign, from 1937 to 1958. So the generations generally can line up with the Pluto transits really well, but it's not perfect. So generally they say that baby boomers are from 1946 to 64. So a lot of them are Pluto and Leo, but some of them are Pluto and Virgo, which is a very different thing. And to me, Pluto and Virgo really gives like Gen X vibes, but I can also see how some people can still have that and fall into the baby boomers as well. But a majority of the baby boomers do have Pluto and Leo. And as a millennial myself, I have Pluto and Scorpio. Pluto and Scorpio squares Pluto and Leo, which I think is part of the reason why there's so much tension between millennials and baby boomers, because our Plutos square each other and we're about such different things. But, as much as I may not like what Pluto and Leo people do or what they're here to do with their power, which tends to be on the narcissistic side because of Leo's love for the self. Although some of them, of course, if they are evolved, will look to the opposite sign of Aquarius and take the humanitarian and community-based thinking as well, and not forget about the tribe just for the self. But I think in more of the negative aspects, we see a lot of Pluto and Leo people who have just kind of hoarded things and kind of forgot that they're here to not just be for the self, but be for the self so that they can be good for the community as well, right? But the emphasis is on the self for them. Whereas when Pluto is going to Aquarius, the emphasis is on the whole, but we cannot take care of the whole if we are not radically authentic and being willing to rebel against social norms and social structures. So much of Aquarian energy is about not allowing ourselves to be defined by the way that our parents, the rest of our family, our friends, and society wants to define us. It's about rejecting a lot of identification, right? Because identification can serve a purpose in the beginning process, right? So if, let's say, when I got fibromyalgia at the age of 18, it helped me to know I have fibromyalgia, or I have interstitial cystitis, or I have this, and this. But if I continue to identify with, I am somebody with fibromyalgia, I don't think I would be here today, right? Because consistently playing that identification, then it starts limiting us. And so much of Aquarius is about pushing back against these limitations and saying like, no, I am my own authentic self beyond any of these labels that you are putting on me. I am something bigger than all of that. So community comes into play because this is a humanitarian sign. And so when we talk about Pluto representing power, so much of the power is going to be handed off from these social structures of Capricorn into the hands of the people, which is why there were several different revolutions during the time that Pluto was in Aquarius last, because people first have to go through an inner revolution and after they go through the inner revolution is when they can then put it out into the world and have an outer revolution and to rebel. Really, that's what revolutions are about. They're saying we don't like the status quo. For a lot of us, this is going to be for economic disparity because of the state of the world that Pluto in Capricorn has left a lot of us in. Pluto in Aquarius is going to be about equality. It wants people to feel equal, that we are all human, that we are all in this together. Another thing that's going to be really big, which I already kind of talked about with the Industrial Revolution, is innovation. Aquarius is the freedom fighter, but it's also very innovative. And this is what can make it kind of difficult for people to like Aquarian things sometimes if they're very traditional. Because like everything I just said, the innovation is a rebellion against social norms. It's a rebellion against traditions that are deeply embedded for some people. And so some people may struggle with this. Now, on that same note, I want to talk about some things that I think are going to be difficult for a lot of people to embody during this time, yet we are being pushed to transform in this way. The thing with Aquarius is that it is very attached to its ideals. Even though it's a very progressive sign, it's very attached to what that progressive future looks like. And so opposition from that, someone saying, no, that's not what the future is going to be, may be seen as a threat. Now, when Pluto is in Aquarius, among other planets, Pluto gives us this very strong emotional attachment to the sign and the house that it's in. So the transformation, Pluto asking us to become objective and detached, need a new red marker. Pluto asking us to be objective and detached. The way that it's going to present that to us is by presenting us with people who may be innovative, who may be progressive, who may be idealistic and visionary and humanitarian, but their idea of what future progress looks like is going to be very different than ours and is going to challenge us in that way. So this is, like I said, we can inherit some of the negative traits of Leo, which is, and honestly, this can happen in Aquarius too, but I feel like it's something that they share is like, my way is the right way, right? It's this belief that I know and I can back up why I am right and you are wrong. And so your ideals, even though they're innovative and progressive and rebellious, are wrong. And so I'm going to still fight against you. And so this is where we can see communities are going to still be fighting each other, right? It's like we may be forming communities based off our radical, authentic self, yet the communities are going to not get along. And so it's going to really push us in very emotionally challenging ways to recognize that just because somebody else's ideals don't match up with ours, how can I be observant and detached and logical and say, okay, you don't match up with my things. I don't know, but you know what we are fighting against is the old structures. Both of us are fighting against old structures. So we have that in common. We want a new way of living that's based on authenticity, that's not based on the labels that other people give us. So, or these boxes that people put you in, like you're a garbage collector, and so therefore you're put in this box, or you're a CEO and you're put in this box. We're wanting to break free of that. And so it's important to stay objective, detached, observant, and to recognize that your way is not the only way. It's going to feel a lot harder for a lot of people depending on your chart. This may be very empowering for you, or it may be very difficult for you. Pluto in Aquarius is going to also bring about alternative healing. It's going to bring about things like human design and astrology and tarot as an uprising. But once again, we're going to see those communities fighting more, which I have already seen, especially in the astrology world and the human design world. This way is right. This is the right system. This is the wrong system. So as astrology gets more and more popular, certain people sit in certain communities and look at the other person and say, hey, you don't know what you're doing. this is the wrong system, this is outdated, or this is too new, or whatever. And so therefore, even something like astrology, which is, you know, you think people would come together because they're like, we all love astrology, but within that, there is disparity and challenges and conflict. So we're going to see a rise of these more alternative sorts of healing methods, which, as an alternative healing practitioner myself and someone who used those methods to heal myself, I very much give that a thumbs up. But I'm already thinking about how this is going to create different communities and how we're going to see that evolve. And hopefully, as a collective, we can recognize that we are all, we still have things in common, and that we can rally for each other, even if we don't completely agree with each other. I think that's going to be the big thing here. So I will be making a video about Pluto in Aquarius in the different parts of your chart, so stay tuned for that. Please let me know what you think Pluto in Aquarius is going to be about. Do you agree or disagree with what I've said? Would you add other things on this list? I know this is not an all-inclusive list, but these are the major themes that come to mind for me. And all right, guys, I will see you for the all signs.